If you allow me, I will read. I've prepared a small speech. Katika mkutano wa hivi karibuni wa SADC uliofanyika hapa Dar es Salaam, moja ya mazimio yaliyokuchiliwa na wajumbe ilikuwa kutambua Kiswahili kama moja ya lugha ramzi inayotimua na tuma za SADC. Ninajikuta kuwa inanibidi kufuata msimamo na kujifunza lugha ya kipekee inayozungumzwa Afrika Mashariki, hasa kwa sasa nikiwa mkaa wa hapa Tanzania kwa muda. Karibu. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Firstly, greetings to all who are gathered here, especially I see that these members of media who are here. The most important component of our sport in Africa and the whole world is media. So we are very excited that you honored the invitation from Magori, our former CEO, to come and grace us with your presence as the announcement of my new appointment at the club. I also would like to take the opportunity to appreciate the opportunity that this gigantic club has offered me. Simba is a very big club, not only in East Africa. I've done a lot of research and I've been following the club for a couple of months now. I can't claim that I've been following it for all these years, but for the couple of months I've been following Simba and I've learned that it's a big club. We can only take it to the next level. We can ensure that it's not only an East African-based club, rather it's an African giant like all these other big giants that we know of in Africa. I'm joining Simba Sports Club at a very crucial stage of its transformation, and I must convey my excitement in the achievement that the club has achieved so far. Transforming is not an easy process. It takes time, it takes sacrifice. There's always people who believe, others don't believe in the process, but I think this is the right path. It has happened in a number of big clubs around the world. I must say that football is unique in every country and every continent. I'm sure that this is the same here in Tanzania with this football. Please do not expect any miracles from me, except that there's going to be several reforms in the club. And these reforms are aimed at shaping the new dawn of professional approach at Simba Sports Club. I commit to a transparent, professional, and collective leadership in my secretariat. I expect to meet many different stakeholders within the club to agree on some few issues and also agree on terms of reference as to how best to move forward. This is a very, very, very unique club with its unique history and norms. It is important to acknowledge this as I embark on my duties to ensure that Simba Sports Club legacy and its history remains intact. I'm sure that one of the burning questions from most of you gathered here is that, where am I going to start? What is that I'm going to do first to ensure that we achieve what we intend to achieve? Well, in brief, the following are the key focus areas which I intend to perfect during my tenure as a CEO of Simba Sports Club. Firstly, the internal restructuring. We need to have an independent professional management structure to drive the club forward. Secondly, transformation of football. Recruitment of players, alignment of all the development teams. You know, there's this concept in football that a club is a senior team that's playing the Premier League. A club consists of a number of teams, from juniors, ladies clubs, all the way to the senior team. That's what makes the club. So I believe that if we insist and put systems in place to ensure that the football part of this club is transformed, we will be able to achieve most of desired outcomes. Thirdly, I want to focus on promotion of Simba Sports Club as a selling brand in East Africa and the rest of the continent. We need to take Simba to the world. We need to employ aggressive marketing and selling of this brand. As an example, in Spain, a few years ago, a number of clubs reformed, and one of the best things that they managed to do, even in England, is to sell their brand beyond their borders. It is important for us to ensure that Simba is not seen only as a giant in Tanzania East Africa, but the entire African continent. In that way, we ensure that even when we start competing at the CAF level, we are able to hold our own. I know that recently there was a very big disappointment that we were knocked out of the CAF Champions League in the first round. Well, that is a running CAF. We need to do better. We need to ensure that in the next round of matches we are prepared and ready for that competition. The other aspect which we would like to focus on, the development of new business. You know, we need to diversify our revenue streams. I know that it's history here in Tanzania and East Africa that clubs are run through members, through donations, through gate takings and all that. We need to find ways to better get revenues for the club. One of those days whereby we just wait for the boss to give money, take the money, play the players, and then we move on. We need to find ways. How do we get business? You know, how do we ensure that the club has got enough funds to sustain itself going forward? You understand? So these are the ways in which we're looking at going forward to ensure that we diversify in terms of our revenue streams. The most important thing, the transformation of fans from being fans and members to being customers. What is the use of having 65,000 supporters at the stadium, but those supporters with a big-headed attitude to say that they'll change things? I understand that the landscape is different. There are people that have been here longer than I was who know the space better. So I'll be looking forward to working with everybody as we navigate this important transformation of this beautiful club. In closing, I would like to assure you that this list is not the only thing that we'll focus on. We will be announcing several short-term strategies to ensure that we remain relevant in the African continent, after, of course, the devastating first-round exit in the CAF Champions League. We are currently Premier League champions. We need to defend our Vodacom Premier League Championship. You know, that's what we focus on in football. We have a Federation Cup, we've got Sports Pesa Challenge, and Mapinduzi Cup competition to play. So I said, it's not all easy, it's not all over because CAF is gone. We've got all these important competitions that we need to focus on. So I would also say that Coach Patrick Osasem and his technical team, they have a lot of work to do ahead of them, and we need to continue supporting their efforts, and we must ensure that we fill those stadiums. What I've seen when I came to Simba CEO, when he invited me for the open day, I've been here in the country for some time now. I managed to hide myself, but when I was here during the Simba day, I was fascinated. You know, I've been all over the African continent. You know, we are the only people that come close to what Simba can do are the North Africans. Even back home, the only clubs that are close, you know them, there's only two. Now there's a third one that is a recent CAF champions, Mamelodi Sundowns. So I was very, very impressed. So I'm saying let's not only fill the stadiums when we have Simba Day. Let all the Simba Premier League matches be as full as it was during the Simba Day. Haji, you know, I've been following you from media. You know, the work you do with the club is amazing. So we need to continue to ensure that people come to the stadium. There is no need sitting at home and not coming. By coming to the stadium, at least that 10 shilling that you pay for the gate intake assist the club to go forward. You know, your singing, your cheering of the players makes us, you know, more lethal in front of our opposition. So I'm putting in a plea to all our fans and members of Simba. Let's come to our matches. Let's support this club. We've got a lot of things to worry about. CAF is behind us. We've got a number of commitments that we need to worry about. So on that note, I would also like to take this opportunity to wish Taifa Stars all the best tomorrow against Burundi. The 1-0 draw away was very, very important, though we equalized, but it's very, very important. So I hope that because the success of your national team, is not only a success of the national team, but it's a success of the league itself. That means our league is competitive. That means we've got players that can compete at a high level. So I'm hopeful that Taifa Stars can go to the next level, and I wish them all the best. And really, with those few words, I would like to say thank you, Asante. His first question, he says, how tough is my job? No job is easy. Even if you're at the hotel, you're hired to be a cleaner here, it's tough. Because you must ensure the beds are done in a certain way, you must ensure that it's clean. So no job is easy, but at least you stand a better chance to do well in a job if you've done it before. That's all. The experience, the skill to be able to do the job, So as I said to you, it's not going to be only me as a CEO to run the club, but I'll have the support. And I'm not taking this light. It's going to be a very, very challenging job, but I'm sure I'll be able to manage. I've got the prerequisite skills to do my job, and I'm sure that we will succeed in that aspect. Why I left Platinum Stars, and after I've left, things fell apart. This is a question that even back home we have not dealt with. If you allow me, Platinum Stars was owned by a group of a nation which is rich in wealth and minerals. They've got their community that they support in terms of monies. They give monies to the community. They assist them with electricity, water, and all those other things. So football came as part of something that they thought would be something nice to have for the community. They built a stadium there. There's Royal Bafokeng Stadium that they have there. They've got a beautiful training facility which Simba used during the pre-season currently. The reason why I left is that the owners of the club made it clear that they no longer want to be involved in football going forward. So going forward, it was very apparent that they were going to sell the club. It was apparent that they didn't want anything to do with the club going forward. So I could not sit and find myself in a position whereby I've been told that we are going to close shop, we're going to sell this. So I felt it's good that I move on and do other things, because as much as you work for an organization, you also have your personal career that you need to worry about. So the affairs of the club, it was a very good success in my tenure, if I may say. I arrived at Platinum Stars in 2013, and on my arrival, they had not won a trophy over 10 years. On my arrival, we did some few changes. We won 2 trophies. We won the MTN 8 Top 8 Cup. We went on to win the Telkom Cup. And guess what? We won these trophies against my former club, Orlando Pirates. So there's been a good success at the club. Unfortunately, the owners decided that they no longer want to be involved in football. They've got other important issues to worry about. And then I felt it's time for me to move on to also look for other opportunities as an individual. I think that's what has happened at Platinum Stars. That process does not happen instantly. Firstly, we need to build our brand. We must be seen as a club that everybody wants to invite. You see, when there's big competitions all over the African continent, they will always look for teams that are playing in the top 4 of the Champions League or CAF Confederations Cup. So we need to deal with our image, our branding as a club, so that we are seen as a sought-after property. So that when there's big competitions outside the country, we are able to be invited as well. Typical example: everybody wants to play TP Mazembe. Why? Because they're a giant in African football. They've achieved a lot of things in Africa. So when you bring TP Mazembe to your country for any friendly matches, you are guaranteed that people will follow that match because it's a well-known club. So we need to work on certain aspects of our Simba Sports Club, so that we are at a level whereby we are able to command a recognition in the African continent. But there are other ways in which we will try and get some revenue beyond the borders of Tanzania. You see, it's always an issue when you come after such giants like Magori. He's done very well. He's had a successful stint with the club. It's not going to be easy. As you said, I'm coming at the point whereby we are restructuring. Football is played in cycles. A best team today might not be a best team for next season. That means it might be best up to this point. After that point, you need to break it down, get new players, get new mentality, get a number of players that can take you to the next 3 or 4 seasons. Mazembe didn't just win the Champions League, it took them time. Mamelodi Sundowns back in South Africa, they didn't just win Champions League, they had to invest, they had to look at their players, look at their structures to ensure that after a certain time they are able to sustain their winning. Also, it's very important to win because you planned to win, not to win because now you find yourself, hey, I'm in the quarterfinals, hey, things are happening. No, it's important to win, knowing that you planned for this. And the success that the club has seen, we need to improve on that. You've asked me about the quality of players. I've seen players from afar. We've got decent players that can take us to the next level. It's just up to the coach and the technical team to ensure that they find proper combinations and ensure that we go to the next level. I've watched even the last match when we played our first Vodacom Championship match. We played very well. We played very, very, very well. But it is important that we always keep pressure so that you are always on top of our game. So far, I'm happy with what I'm seeing from far. But obviously, as I get into the nitty-gritties of what is happening, I'll be able to make more comments on issues of players, how we play, and all those other things. But for now, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Obviously, we can improve or do better. Like any other situation, it's normal.
That's right.
To the stadiums. But you see, the economies as well of the two countries is different. I've done some little bit of research. Our economy is maybe 10 times more than the economy here in Tanzania. If you had the same numbers of people going to our stadiums back home, I'm telling you, we'll be one of the richest because we'll rake in a lot of money. But when you look at how much you spend going to the stadiums, for instance, how much is a ticket to enter the stadium, compared to how much is a ticket back home, those disparities makes it as if you are not good enough, or rather you are down there, because it's money. For you to compete against the best, you must have money to be able to buy players, to buy this, and compete at that level. You understand? So we need to take it step by step, introduce new reforms, and understand where we are going. Also, it's not advisable to pump in money, boom, all at once, hoping that there will be achievement. We need to build a number of things to ensure that that money that we pump back into the club is able to assist us to go forward. Make no mistake, in terms of support, in terms of supporting football, you are amongst the best here in Tanzania. But in terms of the biggest slaps as well, one of the, Mr. Magori, one of the things is that, for instance, now, Kiswahili, of course, as I said in my opening remarks, that is now an official language within the SADC. But one of the hindrances is that somebody will pick up an article online that speaks about Simba, and now because he or she doesn't understand Swahili, it's not of interest to him. He loses interest, you understand? He's not going to read. But the more we understand these dynamics, now we start pushing like other languages when we communicate. So people say, oh, now they take the newspaper, they start reading now. Oh, we've got Mkude. Oh, we've got this player in Tanzania. We've got this player in Tanzania. Oh, they played over the weekend. This and this is happening. Now people starting to have an interest in what is happening in Tanzanian football. So it's going to be a process. I think all of us need to embrace it. We need to find ways to ensure that this football in Tanzania is known beyond the borders of Tanzania.
Okay.
Ni shule gani unataka kumpeleka mwanao baada ya kuhitimu elimu ya msingi, ama shule ya kumhamishia? Bas, Kaka Ben Best Choice Center Group tuna fomu za shule mbalimbali za sekondari, ujiwe bweni au kutwa, jinsia moja au mchanganyiko. Fomu za kujiunga tumekusogezea, ama piga simu namba 0752 46 25 45 na ifanye kuwa yako. Nyote mnakaribishwa.